Imagine this. In a world where division runs deeper than the Grand Canyon, and headlines scream about racial tensions tearing America and Britain apart, one simple act of kindness from a black woman to a tattooed, leather-clad Hells Angel biker ignites a chain of events that will restore your faith in humanity or shatter it forever. If you're watching from the USA or UK, where stories like this hit home amid protests, politics, and everyday prejudices, smash that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications, because what happens next isn't just a tale, it's a run of twists that proves strangers can become saviors, or perhaps something far more sinister. Subscribe today. And let's dive into the story that everyone's talking about. In the sweltering heat of a late summer afternoon in Atlanta, Georgia, where the air hung heavy with the scent of magnolias and exhaust fumes, Ilara Thompson, a 42-year-old black woman with skin like polished ebony and eyes that held the wisdom of generations, pulled her weathered Toyota Camry into the dingy gas station on the outskirts of town. She was exhausted from a double shift at the hospital where she worked as a nurse, tending to the endless stream of patients in the gunshot victims, overdose cases, and the forgotten elderly who reminded her too much of her own ailing mother back home. Money was tight. Her husband had left years ago, leaving her to raise their 2 teenage sons alone, and every penny counted. As she filled up her tank, calculating in her head how she'd stretch her paycheck to cover the boys' school supplies, she noticed him, towering figure in black leather, his vest emblazoned with the infamous Hells Angels emblem. A skull with wings that seemed to leer at the world. His bike, a gleaming Harley-Davidson, roared like a beast as he pulled up to the pump next to hers. But when he reached for his wallet, his face twisted in frustration. "Damn it," he muttered under his breath, rummaging through empty pockets. Ilara overheard, her heart tugging at the sight. She knew that look, all too well, the quiet panic of coming up short. Without a second thought, she stepped forward, her voice steady despite the flutter in her chest. "I've got it," she said, swiping her card before he could protest. The biker, whose name tag read Jocks, looked at her with piercing blue eyes, surprise etching lines on his weathered face. "You sure, lady? I ain't used to handouts." Ilara smiled faintly. "It's not a handout, it's humanity. We've all been there." He nodded gruffly, mounting his bike and revving the engine before speeding off into the horizon, leaving Ilara wondering if she'd just made a fool of herself or planted a seed of goodwill in a hardened soul. Little did she know, that seed would sprout into a storm that would upend her life forever. The next morning, as the sun crept over the modest ranch-style house in her quiet suburban neighborhood, Ilara was jolted awake by the thunderous rumble of engines, dozens of them, shaking the windows like an earthquake. Heart pounding, she peered through the curtains, her breath catching in her throat. There, lining her street like a leather-clad army, were at least 30 bikers. There, Harleys gleaming under the dawn light, patches and tattoos proclaiming allegiance to the Hells Angels. Jocks stood at the forefront, his massive frame unmistakable. But the others, men and women with scars, beards, and an aura of untamed wildness, stared at her door with inscrutable expressions. Panic surged through Ilara. Stories of gang retribution flashed in her mind, the kind you'd see on late-night news about biker wars and vendettas. Had she offended him somehow? Was this payback for her unsolicited kindness? Her sons, Marcus and Jamal, still asleep upstairs, would be terrified. Trembling, she grabbed her phone, fingers hovering over 911, but before she could dial, Jocks raised a hand and shouted, "Ilara Thompson, we need to talk." Swallowing her fear, she stepped onto the porch in her robe, arms crossed defensively. "What is this? I helped you yesterday. Why are you here with ... All of them. Jocks's face broke into a grin, unexpected and warm. "You think we're here to cause trouble? Nah, sister. You saved my ass yesterday. I was on my last dime running from some bad business up north, and your kindness, it hit me hard. Told my crew about it last night at the clubhouse. Turns out, we've got a code rupee debts tenfold." The bikers behind him nodded, some dismounting and approaching with toolboxes and bags. "Your house needs work," Jocks continued, eyeing the peeling paint and sagging porch. Roofs leaking, yards a mess. We're here to fix it. All of it, no charge. Ilara's jaw dropped. She couldn't believe it. These Rough Riders, symbols of rebellion and danger, were offering to renovate her home. It seemed too good to be true. A fairy tale wrapped in chrome and exhaust. As the day unfolded, the bikers transformed her property, painting walls, repairing the roof, mowing the lawn, even installing new gutters. Neighbors peeked from behind curtains, whispering about the invasion. But Ilara's sons emerged wide-eyed, soon chatting with the bikers, learning about engines and life on the road. Jocks shared stories of his own troubled past, a runaway teen from a broken home, finding family in the Angels amid Vietnam vets and outcasts. Ilara moved, cooked up a massive barbecue, her famous ribs drawing smiles from even the gruffest members. By evening, as the sun set and the bikers revved up to leave, Jocks handed her a small envelope. For the boys' college fund, he said. Inside was $5,000 in cash. Tears welled in Ilara's eyes. This was more than repayment, it was redemption. But as they roared away, a nagging doubt crept in. Where did that money come from? The Angels weren't known for legitimate earnings. That night, unable to sleep, Ilara searched online, her fingers flying over the keyboard. Headlines popped up. Drug busts, rival gang clashes, even rumors of human trafficking linked to chapters up north. Jocks had mentioned bad business. Was he involved? The next day, a knock at her door revealed not bikers, but a stern-faced detective from the Atlanta PD. Ma'am, I'm Detective Harris. We got a tip about Hells Angels activity here yesterday. Mind if I ask some questions? Ilara's stomach churned as she recounted the events, omitting the cash for fear of implication. Harris nodded gravely. Jocks Malone, real name, Jacob Mullery. He's wanted for questioning in a string of robberies. That bad business could be connected to a heist in Tennessee. If they come back, call us. Shaken, Ilara confronted her naivety. Her act of kindness had invited danger into her home. Days passed uneventfully, but then, under the cover of night, Jocks returned alone. Slipping through her backyard like a shadow. Ilara, I need your help, he whispered urgently at her back door. The crew doesn't know I'm here. That money, it's clean savings from my old job. But the cops are closing in on something bigger. I didn't rob anyone, I witnessed it. A rival gang framed me. His eyes pleaded sincerity, but Ilara hesitated. Why me? Why drag me into this? Jocks sighed. Because you're good people, and there's more. Your husband, the one who left, he was my brother. Half-brother, actually. Same deadbeat. Dad, I tracked you down years ago, but never had the guts. Yesterday wasn't random, I staged the gas thing to test if you'd help family. The revelation hit Ilara like a freight train. Her ex, Tyrone, had always hinted at a mysterious sibling. But this, a Hell's Angel. Proof came in the form of an old photo. Jocks produced Tyrone and a young Jocks, arms around each other. He abandoned us both, Jocks said. But I want to make it right, the Angels. Some are rough, but my chapter's trying to go legit, charity runs, community stuff. That fix-up, it was genuine. Overwhelmed, Ilara agreed to hide him for the night, her nurse's instinct overriding caution, but twists piled on. The next morning, as Jocks prepared to flee, bikers returned not his crew, but rivals from the Outlaws gang, tires screeching, guns drawn. Where's Jocks? He stole our stash. Their leader bellowed. Chaos erupted. Ilara's sons barricaded inside, Jocks grabbing a hidden pistol from his boot. Gunfire echoed as neighbors called the cops, but in the melee, Jocks shielded Ilara, taking a bullet to the shoulder. Go, protect the kids, he yelled. Police sirens wailed, scattering the outlaws, but Jocks was arrested, bloodied, and defiant. In the hospital, as Ilara visited under guard, the truth unraveled further. Detective Harris revealed Jocks wasn't framed, he was undercover, an FBI informant infiltrating the Angels to dismantle a nationwide trafficking ring. The bad business was his cover story. The gas station meet was orchestrated to gain Ilara's trust, unknowingly pulling her into a sting operation. Your kindness saved the op, Harris explained. We needed a civilian vouch to lure the rivals out. Betrayal stung, but Jocks, from his bed, confessed the half-brother part was true. I didn't lie about family. Tyrone reached out before he died cancer, 2 years ago. He wanted me to watch over you. Alara reeled. Tyrone dead. She'd assumed. He just vanished. Proof came via documents, death certificate, letters. The cash, FBI reward money, laundered clean. As Jocks recovered, the angels distanced themselves, but a few loyal ones, cleared of charges, formed a protective circle around Ellora's home. Twists deepened when Marcus, her eldest son, discovered a hidden letter in the envelope coordinates to a safe deposit box. Inside Tyrone's life insurance payout, $100,000, untouched. For my family, the note read. But the ultimate twist. Jocks wasn't just a brother. DNA tests urged by Alara revealed he was Tyrone's full sibling, and through a convoluted family tree, Alara's distant cousin via enslaved ancestors traced back to the same plantation. Blood bound them